Hello, my name is David Webb and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent's to go first, and I have a pretty unpleasant rack with 5 vowels, duplicate U, duplicate I, and the Y and the T. So I will probably be looking to change. If I do change, it's a question of whether I retain the T or the I and the T. My opponent has opened with Jaeger. Before changing, I will check to see if there is a move which is better than changing. I can't reach the double word square from the J with my rack. Yes, I can't see anything better than changing, and I think I will retain the I and the T because neither of those letters has been played. Well, I'm glad I kept the I because I drew 5 consonants. My rack is poor, it's a long way from being a bingo. But I don't think I will need to change. I should be able to score with this rack. Right, my opponent has played Haft. I can't use the J, either parallel to the J because I don't have an A or an O, and nor can I reach the double word square. So one possibility is moves through the A of Jaeger that do reach the double word square. Let's see if I can see any of those. Well, there's Baltic, which is quite nice. Let's see what that looks like. That's 20 points. An okay leave of D and L, although not great. So that's my benchmark play. Is there one that's better? I can't see it, so or I can't see a better play, so I think I will play Baltic. And my rack is not improving. Again, 6 consonants and 1 vowel. I don't think I'll need to change, but I'm not going to score well with this rack. With just the 1 vowel, I'm looking at available vowels on the board, and the only one is the I of Baltic, but unfortunately if I use that, I'll just be scoring face value for my tiles. and my opponent has taken it out anyway. But he has offered another vowel, the A of caddy. So the immediate move which jumps out is plant for 20 points. But is there a better one? I note that plant takes an A and an S after it, so I am providing an opportunity, or I am opening the board up a little bit. But that's probably a good thing since I'm behind. This board offers very little, so there's not a lot of options to check. I can't see anything better than plant, so I'm going to play it. Great, I've got the A for going on the end of plant. And I have autodine. Autodine through the T of haft. Now I'd be quite happy for my opponent to take the A hook on the end of plant. Now that's great. Let's put it down and then pause to see if there's anything better. That's nice, the Y on the triple letter square. Autodine, 72 points. The only real opening that my opponent has given me is the N of quern. But I don't have an 8-letter bingo with my rack and that letter N. So I think autodine is the best there is. Let's scroll down to keep track of my opponent's scores. I've drawn the first blank, which is good. I'm only 5 points behind at this stage. My first thoughts with this rack is there anything through the N of quern? In particular, is there a word starting at A15 which hits both triple word squares at A15 and H15? The U and the K are not great letters, but the obvious place for the U is immediately in front of the N for un words. So I'm mentally imagining the U being in front of the N, and I'm considering my remaining letters. Nothing is suggesting itself to me. I think probably the thing to do is to find any bingo and then look for a better one. There may not be anything that goes on this board, but I think there should be. I've got both un and out as prefixes on my rack. Well, there's out taken through the A of autodine, using the blank as a T. Is there anything else? Well, I've just mentally run through the alphabet for the blank, and outtaken is the only bingo that's popped into my head. I probably ought to repeat that exercise, especially now that I have identified one bingo. I'm not seeing anything else at the moment, but I'm only up to L. Ah, that's annoying. My opponent's taken my out-taken spot. It's not a bingo though, he's only got 44. But do I have a bingo? Okay, I don't think I do have a bingo, or if I do have one, I don't think I'm going to find it. Gosh, I'm close to unknotted in row 15, column 15 rather. But I need an extra tile and I don't have it. Looking at knot, well, knut, that's better, knut or nut, however you pronounce it. That's 27 points. Is there anything better? It would be nice to play in the same spot as knut, but actually get the K onto the double letter square at D15, but I don't think that's possible. Ah, I've just seen something else. I was 27 for knut. Let's see what this scores. Enoki. Does keep the U, but let's see if the score justifies the inferior rack leave. 42 points. I think it does. I mean, it does anyway because the score is so much greater, but I think the board position is better with Enoki. I've got the blank, so I've got a lot of bingo potential. Therefore, opening the board is a good thing to do. I like Enoki. And I think I'm going to play it. Right, 2 T's and the U that I retained from last time and the G are not a great set of letters. I don't have an I and an N, or either an I or an N to go with the G to improve that tile. But there are several floaters to consider. Okay, my opponent's taken out column 15 with Napood. It's not a bingo. He's only 46 points ahead. So a bingo would bring me right back into the game. And really I'm looking at the... Well, I need to consider a 7-letter bingo, which might play parallel to Napood in column 14. And there may be an 8-letter bingo through the E, the N, or the O of Enoki. Yes, there is. There's Chute Nags and Gauntest. Chute Nags and Gauntest. Neither of those score particularly highly. This is in column 1. Neither of them hits the triple word squares at A1 and O1, but I do have a bingo. So what could be better? I don't think outstage is good. But age is a useful suffix rather, so maybe there's something else. Well, cottages, but I don't think there's scuttage. I think it is cottages. Maybe it's scuttage with one T. But I'm not going to risk it when I have a definite bingo of Chutnags. Well, I have out gates through the O of Enoki. That scores better than Chutnags because it hits the double word square at M3. It does, however, open the bingo lane in row O. Do I want to do that? I'm not seeing anything better. I do like getting the points. I think the extra points justifies... Well, let's see how many extra points there are. Outgates is 68, which isn't great. Chutnags 59, so I'm getting 9 extra points and I'm giving my opponent an easy access to the triple lane. There's one H out there which would score well next to the S of outgates. Nine points. I don't need them in the sense that I'm only 46 points behind. I'm moving towards considering Gauntest. And the reason for that, well, it scores 59 points, so it is scoring about 8 or 9 points less than outgates, but it doesn't open anything up for my opponent, and in particular it doesn't put a vowel next to the triple letter squares at F2 and J2, whereas Chutnags did. It put a U at F1. I'm going to play Gauntest. And I draw the X, which is good. I'd have a duplicate eye, but overall the rack is fairly well balanced with tiles that go well together. And I note that from the O of Autodyne I have Orexic down onto the triple word square at O at O8. So I think that will be my benchmark play. Let's get that down. Orexic, that's 48 points. My opponent played Hayem for 35, so he's consistently scoring well. He's 22 points ahead, but a Rexic would score me 48 points. Is there anything better? I'm looking at the double letter squares and the triple letter squares to see if any of them provide opportunities for the X. But where they do, such as the triple letter square at F6 and the double letter square at I3, I can't really score that well. I certainly can't score as much as Orexic, and I can't be sure of, I can't split up the duplicate I, so Orexic is looking like a good play, and the IM leave is pretty good. I'm running a little short on time, so I think I will play this. And that's nice. That's a good balanced leave, or a good balanced rack rather. Through an S I would have foils men. Do I have anything with the floaters as they stand? There's the O of Enoki. I don't think monophile is good. I think it's monophil. Wow, what a tantalising rack. I feel there may be something there. I'm sure there's a number of 8-letter words. It's just a case of whether any of them utilise the available floaters, which are the O of Enoki and the EXIC of Orexic, plus the last 3 letters of Autodyne. I'm not seeing anything. If there isn't anything, I ought to be able to score reasonably well. I'll want to play off the F if I can, because that's the least bingo friendly tile on my rack. Yeah, I can't see an 8-letter bingo, and there are no opportunities for 7-letter bingos. Well, without exotic placement in column 13, pluralizing Autodyne and having making several other short words, but that isn't going to happen. My opponent's played Zonoid, which is, yeah, that's good. And, yeah, let's just get this down and then see if there's anything better. Film. 37 points. I'm only 6 points behind. Film scores well. I'm keeping a vowel heavy leave, and there are 4 E's out there, which isn't great. But if I make a play other than film, I'll be sacrificing quite a bit of score and leaving that opportunity open for my opponent, as in utilising the spot where I've played film. So, film it is. Yeah, the E and the O I kept have both been duplicated, which isn't good. I've got overdone and overgone through a floating D or G, but there are no floating Ds or Gs. But the good news is that I'm 31 points ahead. I note that the remaining tiles are quite bingo friendly and there's a blank still out there. So I am vulnerable to my opponent bingoing and then closing the board down. I probably ought to think about closing the board down myself if my opponent doesn't bingo. A play like over down in column 4 with the O next to the S of vaginas would block the floaters in orexic and the O in enoki. Well, it would obstruct the O in enoki. Another option is for me to aim to get the blank by playing as many tiles as I can. So I could make a play like groove from the G of Gauntest, which would score 20 points and play off 5 tiles. I have VOE, V-O-E, parallel to film, making div. That's 32 points. That's quite attractive from the point of view of scoring. Great, my opponent has blocked the board. He's taken out a number of floaters which would have been helpful to him. He's only got 18 points for that. So the question is, do I block the O hook of enoki, bearing in mind that my lead is only 13 points, or do I try and score well and outscore him and hope he doesn't bingo? Or do I obstruct with groove? I'm drawn to scoring. There's 2 W's and a Y which would seriously obstruct my opponent's bingo opportunities, and VO also obstructs him from scoring a non-bingo using the Emma film and hitting the triple word square at 015. And my rack leave of ENOR is not bad. Yep, I like the points. And that is nice. That is a really good rack. As a 7, I have Erasion. But the board is quite blocked. I don't have an 8-letter word through the O of enoki. Right, there's 5 tiles left. What do I do? That is such a good rack. It's tempting to play off just the O and open a bingo lane, because the Sani leave is so good. Gosh, how tantalising. What shall I do? Well, I'm 18 points ahead. Looking at the remaining tiles, I don't think there are many bingos through the O of enoki, so I don't think I should put a massive priority in blocking my opponent. I'm wondering if I just played the O here. I'm not opening a bingo lane, but I'm scoring 16 points, and that rack leave is fantastic. Okay, I hope I don't regret this. Let's find out. Okay, I've drawn the E. There isn't anything through the O of enoki. In fact, E is one of the few letters which doesn't go with Sani to make a 7-letter word. I don't have anything onto the C of orexic. Ah, I do have arseni. Nope, I was going to say arseniate, but it's IT. Immediately above the C of orexic, so I don't have arseniate. Arseniite is not good. There's 4 tiles in the bag. Ooh. Okay, that has not paid off. My bingo hunting with the O has not paid off. My opponent has played a very nice bingo with Bouviers. He goes 40 points in the lead. No tiles in the bag. I've got no scoring tiles on my rack, no high scoring tiles, so I don't think I can recover from this deficit of 40 points. Right, so how can I, if I'm losing, how can I minimise my losing spread? A play like Rain for 18 points means I can go out next go. But is there anything better? Well, even if there is a better play, and there probably is, it's very difficult to find the best play with these high probability tiles from retains. And I am running low on time. So there it goes. I now have got E's parallel to Zonoid for 19 points, but that's not going to be enough. I've also got Gaze, Gaes, and making La, T and Caddies for 28 points. And I think that's going to be the best available on this board. But my opponent should win. He should be able to score well enough with the W or the Y, although I haven't looked to see what is available. Nothing jumps out at me for him, but he does have 5 minutes to find something good. If it can play, he's got the 3-letter words Y or U. Ah, he has blocked. So let's get ease down. Right. Well, that was a close game. Final score 393 to 413, so I lose by 20. I think there were quite a few interesting spots in that game. I think the key decision was the play of O, keeping Sani, and leaving the O of Enoki open, which my opponent bingoed through. Just because my opponent had a bingo doesn't mean that the play of Lu was wrong. Obviously, in this instance, it didn't work out. But the key with every rack in Scrabble is to play your winningest move. And sometimes your winningest move doesn't win. But I will have to analyse this move using Quackle software to see if I missed something. Anyway, I think that was an interesting spot, and there were others. My name is David Webb. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been a video for Dweebovision.